Yes, everybody. How are we doing? Sam United People's TV on tour in Dublin. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can see me. Let me know down there in the comments. I know it's not going to be as crisp as it normally is in the studio, but we're on tour. Fingers crossed this is working, because this is the first time ever that I've been able to do a live show whilst going somewhere. So fingers crossed this works, because it opens up some doors. But how are you all doing? Look, I'm out in Dublin. We're going to speak about last night. We're going to speak about tonight. I'm going to the game. First time I'm representing United People's TV. We've got media accreditation. It's going to be fun. Looking forward to meeting lots of people and hopefully watching United absolutely spank Leeds. And by the way, can I just say this? I did make the bed. It's the first time I've ever had to make the bed before doing a live show. Can I just say here, it was way too HD, this camera. Way too HD. See this great beard? I need to find a barber's after this. I need to have a shave. It's all kicking off after this. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, tell you what, Leeds fans, they're weird. Didn't meet one good Leeds fan last night. In fact, I just met like 3 or 4 really odd ones. Yes, you can hear me. How are you all doing? Right, I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to run through, we're going to have a conversation about Lewis-Skelly, all the stuff that kicked off yesterday. It's not the first time we've been linked with him. Reports are saying that United aren't interested in him. And I want to speak about that hybrid signing. We've actually covered that and spoken about it before. And then we'll speak about the game. I'm going to speak about what I'm looking forward to. You can let me know. Let me say hello to everybody. And let's get on with today's show. Right. That bed is done. All right. Took me bloody ages. It didn't take me that long. Good morning to the mods and the members. Have a look. We've got Steph. We've got JC. We've got Maddie. Good morning to all 3 of you. Carl, you're here as well. Some members. Fran, good morning to you. Ines, we've got Eamon. We've got Loza, Richard, DP, good morning to all of you. And some non-members, we've got Julian, Isaac, Odama, we've got Jordan, Squashley, lots more. Can I say this, just remember this, to the lady who I met in the airport, I think she said her husband was Owen, and I think he ran a supporters club, and then she was the secretary. That's how they met, so they met through United. I apologise, I can't remember your name, but she came up to me and I wanted to give her a shout out in today's show. All right. Shall we get on with it? What are we saying down here in the chat? Elvis from Uganda, good morning to you. We don't need Skelly, no more rejects, please. Announce Camavinga. Mate, to be honest, I would take Lewis-Skelly in a heartbeat for what we need right now. Shall we get into today's show? Now, first things first, I think we've all been, as I said, I'm going to try and make this as much. I've brought a whole nother, we've got a monitor, we've got the light, we've got everything, we've got a second screen. Come on, man. All right. This is United People's TV on the road. Don't call me, you can't possibly say I'm not professional, all right? This is from Simon Stone from the BBC. And of all the summers that I've covered, this has felt like one where everybody seems to be guessing. Look, you read that down in the bottom left. A conversation with someone senior at United, I'll zoom in for you. A conversation with someone senior at United about growing concern among the fan base about lack of signing since Youri Tielemans was confirmed on the 14th of July. Nearly a month since we've got a signing. He said, look, judge us at the end of the window. It certainly gave the impression of more business being done. I don't care about impressions, to be honest. I've always said that I won't judge United's window until it is complete. I won't give it a ranking or a rating out of 10. I've got my concerns. I've said my concerns about why I am concerned. And I've also reiterated that I feel United, while I'm, as a fan, looking at the whole game, the start of the season, funnily enough, as the sort of point where I'm working backwards from, therefore I want all my players to have 2 weeks settling in, etc., etc. I don't think United are doing that. I think they're looking at Hull and Ipswich and thinking, now it might be the wrong way to look at it, and you might say it's being over complacent, but I think United are looking at that going, well, we've got enough to beat Hull, we've got enough to beat Ipswich, let's look. Who was our third game? Can't actually remember. But this will come as zero surprise to anybody. Mason Mount hasn't trained since he went off as a precaution against PSG. And remember the conversations that we had the week before about, maybe Mason, well, we didn't have it. We saw reports saying, Mason Mount, he could be the fourth signing. No, he can't be the fourth central midfielder. Mason Mount, whatever he is this season, is going to be, and I can't say this in a non-dis, he's going to be a supplementary player. He's not going to be somebody that we can consistently rely on. It's going to be times, games, weeks, hell, maybe even months, where Mason Mount is fit and available and is an asset to the team, but he's not going to be somebody that you rely on. So there's no surprise here to see that he's missed training since that PSG precaution that he went off. All right. Everton's a third game. Well, there you go. I honestly feel that United are looking towards that game as when they feel they need to get their signings ready. So they're probably a couple of weeks behind. But let's speak about these two, right? Yeah, precaution. Rob, I'm not, like, I don't know how people, well, I suppose people can say whatever they want. I'm not going to call Mason Mount a fraud. Because it's just dumb. Mason Mount's, in the same way that Luke Shaw prior to last season, his body was failing him. Last season, somehow, I don't really know what changed for Luke Shaw. Did he start doing things differently off the pitch? Did United bring in some new staff? I have no idea, but something changed with Luke Shaw last season. Mason Mount, unfortunately, starting again. I want to speak about these two, right? Lewis-Skelly and Lewis Hall. I think it was it Ronaldo Brown from Stretford Paddock who sort of floated the idea, and then I saw it and I was like, you know what, that kind of makes sense. Speaking about this, not just the final signing, but the fact that United have been linked with Lewis-Skelly, had looked at Lewis-Skelly, had looked at Lewis Hall, have looked at Eduardo Camavinga, and these sort of quote-unquote hybrid signings. I can see down here that my sound is totally fine. I can see that my input is all good. So if you don't, so with respect to anybody, I can see there's one or two of you saying it's gone. Please refresh your chat. So just refresh the page before you start commenting, because then you'll get me panicking. But Lewis-Skelly, would I take him? I'd take him tomorrow. Somebody who's... Okay, I'll open the door here. Let's have a conversation about Lewis-Skelly. I'll cover the reports in a second. By the way, they're all saying that United don't really want to move for Lewis-Skelly. But I want to get your opinions on Lewis-Skelly. Because for me, looking at, obviously, somebody who's played more at left back, but also pushed his way into that Arsenal team, got in front of Zubimendi, ended up starting in central midfield in the Champions League final, and they've now just gone and signed Bruno Guimaraes. And if he was going to be struggling for game time next season already, it's going to be even more so now that they've signed Bruno Guimaraes, right? Let me see what you're saying down here. What's Lewis-Skelly give us that Dorgu doesn't? Very, very different types of players. If they're both going to be playing left back, very, very different types of left backs as well. I would say Lewis-Skelly is someone who's a hell of a lot more composed in possession than Dorgu is. Dorgu is like for want of a better phrase, I'll call him like a transitional left back. He's somebody who you kind of want bursting forward and going forward, but in terms of actually bringing a level of control into the game, I don't think that's sort of Dorgu. Anyway, let's speak about what the reports were yesterday, and I'll go down here and we'll have a chat, all right? Because I don't know where the reports first came from, but they said that Lewis-Skelly had been offered to Chelsea and offered to United as well. And then reports quickly came out saying that United and Chelsea, of course Chelsea, how many players have they signed again this summer? No doubt Chelsea have spent more than anybody else. I don't know how many central midfield options they've got. I don't know how many left back options they've got. But they've got a lot everywhere. Doesn't mean that they wouldn't sign another one. But I'm not surprised to see that Chelsea aren't interested. And following on from that, you've got The Athletic that have reported that, and this is, I think, is quite an important element of this. If we're looking at how United have approached the summer window so far, what's seemingly been a non-negotiable is, does this player want to join Manchester United? Yes or no? And if the answer is not yes, United haven't moved after them. Now, The Athletic are reporting that Lewis-Skelly actually wants to stay, despite the fact that Bruno Guimaraes is coming in, despite the fact that his game time might even be less this season as a consequence, that he's happy and he wants to stay. And then Laurie Whitwell's followed up by saying this, and I'll cover this, right? United have been offered Lewis-Skelly, though Arsenal say they've not directly offered him to anyone, while the player is keen to stay with them. So the same thing, the fact that he wants to stay at Arsenal, right? At United, there is also some scepticism about how much he would cost, with the expectation that 45 million would not be enough. And this is where the conversations around the hybrid, I called it the hybrid final big signing. Now, you might argue that, hold on here, Sam, given the expectations we had going into the window and kind of what we were told and sold, really, about the idea of Project 150. We just got into the Champions League. The ambition should be there to be better than to spend more than we did the summer before when we finished 15th. To then go and spend 35 mil on Tielemans, and how much was Santos? Was 48 mil. You could argue that we need to make even bigger ones. But this idea, I think that this final, because again, we've had this conversation. Not that I want to choose, but if I was to prioritise a final signing final big signing, between a left back and a central midfielder, I would go for a left back. So maybe this whole time, United have been looking at that third midfield signing that's capable of doing both. And like leading on from that, and I'll come down into the chat in a second, but I want to cover this, right? Because we've heard this quite a lot this summer, whether it's Matheus Fernandes, whether it's Elliot Anderson, whether it's Lewis Hall, the idea that all these players are too expensive. If United really have been looking at Lewis Hall and this left back and this third central midfielder as a hybrid signing, then I'm guessing that's a position that you would be willing to spend a bit more on, because instead of it just being a left back, you're getting a central midfielder at the same time. So it's almost, I'm not saying it's two signings in one, but it's a player that can play in both positions. Now you can let me know down here. I'll go down here into the chat, right? Why can't we organise some loans? What loans? What players? I suppose you don't really know that until you go for it. But Dan, you said you've got left back. I go midfielder because we've got, I'm guessing you mean Mazraoui down there. Got Luke, but if Santos gets injured, I don't think Youri can cover the 6. We still need... Look, as much as I talk about it, I'm saying, oh, this could happen. Hybrid here, hybrid there. We still need 2/3 signings. We need it if we're going to have the squad to compete. I'm kind of talking, sometimes you can, I don't know, your opinion can kind of shift or change. We do need those signings, man. Would I be upset if we signed Lewis Hall? Hell no, I'd be delighted. Would I be upset if we just signed Lewis Hall and then didn't sign a third central midfielder? I'd be worried. I still think that we would need that spot covered. But, well, I mean, we mentioned this before, didn't we? Like, at this point in the window, who would be that third central midfielder that you'd be looking at? I think we spoke about Sekou Kone, we spoke about Sander Berge. Right, let me see what's going on down here. A hybrid signing now, do you think it's acceptable? Scott, that's what I mean. I kind of jump in and out, if I'm honest. Would I be upset if we signed either of these players? Lewis-Skelly or Hall? No. Would I be upset if we signed Hall for 80 million plus? I don't see how there is any benefit, and maybe there was, like, back in the day. I can't remember off the top of my head. Well, maybe there was a point where waiting later in the window, going towards the end, got you a better deal. I can't really remember any off the top of my head with United. I suppose something that could help with something like that is if it got to the last 2 weeks of the window and Lewis Hall put in a transfer request. That could give United a bit of leverage. But like that aside, I don't see how the price of Hall gets any cheaper the longer we wait. I don't think it's a strategy I feel I agree with. The strategy I do agree with is the fact that I've already spoken about this a million times. I don't need to repeat myself. I think United were right not to spend 116 mil on Elliot Fernandes, as much as Elliot Anderson. I think we were right not to go crazy on. By the way, have you seen the wages that Spurs are offering? I think it's Van der Ven. I think it's Mark Verwijde from The Telegraph out in Holland. It's one of the most reliable journalists there, saying he's been offered something like 75 mil over 5 seasons. Like some sort of nutty, crazy salary that Spurs kind of have to do after last season. That's why I said their ambition is impressive, but their desperation for it to happen this summer has led to some real questionable decisions on their part when it comes to wages and what they've been actually bringing in. And I really hope it blows up in their face. I really, really do. Right, let me go down here and see what you're saying. Nice couple minutes more chat, and then we'll head and we'll have a conversation about the Leeds game. I can't wait for it today. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, Elliot Fernandez, my bad. It'll get more expensive. They have to wait until the end. Means they've just sold 4 players, so they can ask for a ridiculous price. Realistically, are we going to get anyone good enough before the end of the window? I don't think it's impossible. I still don't know who. But reports are suggesting that A, we've been offered Lewis-Skelly, and that B, we've turned him down. I don't know why we turned him. Again, I might go back to that and just kind of, I know I'm repeating myself a little bit here. But if Lewis-Skelly doesn't want to force his way to United, doesn't want to tell Arsenal, no, I want to leave, no, I want to join United, we seemingly aren't interested in signing him. And I feel, with this lad, very much he wants to join United. OJ Chick saying, why aren't we in for Jed Spence? Jed Spence really impressed me at the World Cup. I didn't expect him to. But I don't think I've ever looked and gone, Jed Spence is the person I want to sign. Now, I might be right or wrong in saying that. You might disagree, but I don't particularly feel like we're missing out. I think he's getting linked with a move to Inter for 25 million-ish. Something like that. Nah, not for me. Not for me. JC is saying if they don't want to play for us, then jog on. I think that's exactly what United have been doing in the market. Shax, good morning to you. Gifting some memberships on tour. What else are you saying down here? Sam, have you also heard the gossip about Endrick? Now, I saw that. Kind of spoke about it briefly. But then I'm pretty sure, is it Fabrizio yesterday or the day before, saying that Real Madrid have got no intention of letting him leave. Endrick off the cards. Could have been potentially an option as an alternative to Šeško. Nah, not happening. And I think even if he does leave Real Madrid, it's probably just going to be on a loan deal with no option, no obligation. So you really are just training that player up to be better and going back to Real Madrid. And I don't think United would ever do that. ASIC saying don't want Spence. Why is the board less active in the market every time the season ends? Well, I'll tell you what, I got totally wrong. This is what United's budget was this summer. I really felt like it was fair to, I told you, like, I didn't just like, I felt like United were going to have a record-breaking summer, and I explained them my logic. Like, financially, regardless of what happened with the Champions League, but financially, 12 months on from last summer, our bottom line was better. Like, the cuts had actually started to make an impact. The in-club finances were in a better position than they were the year before. Add in the Champions League money, add in the fact that we spent I think someone said this before, maybe United last summer spent more in a sort of speculative fashion to get a better finish this season, and therefore the budget this season also includes last summer, and therefore those two together, the budget was lower than we thought. Gary, I've seen lots of, I don't know, can someone tell me where any of these reports on Adam Wharton are coming from? Because I see it as like chief whiff. I cannot see anybody, was it like coming from like caught offside or something like that? Adam Wharton is so not what United need as a third midfielder because we've signed Santos and Tielemans. I'll tell you what, I'm really looking forward to watching Tielemans today. I want to go on to speak about the Leeds game now. What are we saying down here? Will Zirkzee really be our backup striker option on the bench? I hope not. I like Zirkzee as a person, as a lad, a good footballer. Yeah, no, he's not a backup to Šeško. He's not a number 9. He's not a number 10. He's not a backup to Bruno. He's somewhere in the middle, and he's not really got the spot in the squad. Therefore, he's a little bit lost. And that's what happens when you build a squad and you sometimes move between managers. There are certain players who fit one system before and then don't fit another one. We've seen it happen at United plenty of times. Unfortunately for Zirkzee, he's just awkwardly stuck in the middle. David is saying, if we couldn't get Hall this summer, is he worth waiting until next summer or get another left back now? I see it as a complete necessity, United signing a left back this season. I really do. Now, maybe I'm being unfair on Harry and Mass, because if we went to the board's working on here, I think they are. Ignore that. Anyway, the boards. Harry Mass has been linked with an exit. I think somewhere in the reports suggested 6 mil. maybe United aren't going to be moving Harry Mass on. I don't particularly feel like he's going to be what we need at left back. I really, really don't. I think we need more. This is not a new layout. This is me on tour. I'm in Dublin. I'm trying to do my best. I brought a whole studio. My bag was heavy as heavy as crap, but we got it today. You got what you're saying. Is this club, as of today, good enough to keep their Champions League spot? Still need another striker, left back, and another midfielder, playing more than once a week. Yeah, I think United are going to struggle a lot with the squad that we've currently got. I think at its peak and when they're fit, and I think we're going to play some good football. I think we'll actually be better than we were last season. But I think across the course of what should be a 60-plus game, well, about a 60-game season, we haven't got enough. I know we've not got enough. You know we've not got enough. And we also know that this man is not going to be enough as a fourth signing. Right. Shall we have a conversation about Leeds? Yeah. Come on in. I'll read a few more of your comments out and then I'll head down. Judge the club when the transfer window is shut is what I will do. And I still feel there's quite a bit more that needs to be done. And I think United are going to have to get it done. I can't remember the last time we it was Youri Tielemans, right? That's the last bid we've put in for a player. We didn't bid for Mateus Fernandes, not openly. When it came to push came to shove right at the end, reports suggested that we were willing to pay 85 mil, but not the wages, which I agree with. But Tielemans, Santos happened really quick. Tielemans was a release clause. I don't think we've actually put in a bid after that. I think Carrick's going to use Zirkzee as a midfielder. I don't quite know. But anyway, should we have a conversation about the game tonight? Right? I am buzzing for it. I think 80,000. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is this the first time that a football match has happened at Croke Park? I don't know whether I'm lying on that. But 80,000 plus, I know it's a friendly on paper. I don't think a game between United and Leeds will ever really be a friendly. But I'm really looking forward to the match today. I'm guessing it's going to be a bit of it should be a decent atmosphere. As far as pre-season friendlies go, don't really think you can ask for more than 80,000 plus and Leeds playing United at Croke Park. Right, what are we saying down here? Tielemans to get his first goal. Well, let's speak about him. Let's speak about Carrick first. Next week, obviously the build-up to the season starts. We've got quite a lot of videos planned. Obviously going to do the season predictions. We'll do also going to take a look at United's strongest 11 overall and the squad depth. So we'll go position by position at that point. And also what I want to do is, apparently it's the first club game at Croke Park. Well, there you go. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, I'm also going to do one video next week. I normally have done more of these during pre-season. I don't really know why I haven't. I think I've just been a bit busy. But going to take a look at the pre-season as a whole. What's looking different? How are United playing differently? What tweaks or what changes have we seen or can we see? And I think a big part of that is going to come down to Tielemans and Santos and the types of midfielders that we have signed. So Tielemans hasn't started for United yet. I'm hoping he starts today. He came off the bench against PSG. He looked really good, man. Hope he gets to shake his hand. Hope we get to meet him in the mix zone. You know what I'm looking for today? I need that Bruno selfie. Come on. What other one should I get? You can let me know down there. I don't actually know what access you get. I'm hoping you get to go pitch side at some point. I know it won't be pitch side the whole game, but it might not be. We'll find out. Senny has to get on the pitch soon. A bit worried about the keeper position for the first two matches. Senny and Cunha missed the PSG game with illness, but they've both been training ahead of tonight's game, so fingers crossed both of them are fit to start. Tinky, you're not wrong. We all know we need a runner in midfield. Every United fan knows it. Every United fan's been screaming it going into the window at the start of it, let alone now. The same problem exists with this squad that we've got. But a problem that's been improved for sure is how much better United are with the ball in our own half. Options coming out, playing out from the back actually being able to play out from the back, actually having line-breaking passes that aren't just Lisandro Martinez or Bruno Fernandes. That's something that Santos has brought straight away, and that's something that Tielemans showed in that 20-minute cameo when he came off the bench. Yes, Paul, it is Sam on the road. I'm happy it's working, by the way. I think as a first test of this, I'm pretty damn happy. I know things can improve, and I'll always make sure that happens. But the fact that we're having a show, we're nearly half hour into it, and I'm still having a conversation with you, I'm going to take that as a big dub in Dublin. In transition, we'll get found out by the top 6. Hope Tielemans gets 45 minutes. But live on the Champions League run. Maybe not. We'll find out. We should be better with the low block. Look, I quite like these comments from Johnny Evans. Of course, Johnny Evans played with him for a good old length. Was it 4.5 years Johnny Evans played with him? I said it at the time, and it probably wasn't a rocket science sort of thing to say, but I get the feeling that Tielemans, was he actually named the signing of the season? I think he might have been. Was there actually an award for that, or was that just something that went around social media? I can't actually remember that. I just get the feeling that Tielemans is going to be considered the signing of the summer. Not overall among all signings in the league, and I think I'm more probably thinking like pound for pound. How much you spent on that player and the impact that that player had on your club. I think Tielemans is this season's Senny. Man, do you remember Senny coming in? Jeez, how burnt and how scarred we were by what we've seen with Onana and Bayindir. Was it last season? It was. First game was Arsenal and Bayindir flapping on. It was. And then the next game was it Fulham away? I think it was Fulham away. And he was a flap attack in that game as well. Jason, you're thinking maybe Santos might be that signing? Santos has really impressed me. But if I was going to choose one player I'm looking forward to watching today, it's Tielemans. Right? That's what I'm hoping so. And he's saying for the money, I wouldn't be surprised if he turns out to be the signing of the entire summer. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't go as far as saying that. But I'm fully expecting Tielemans to have a big impact on this team. How controlled we are in our own half. How one player who's really, really going to love Tielemans is Bruno, man. Because Bruno's going to be like, finally, there's somebody deeper who does what I always had to drop deep and do. I don't have to do it anymore. I can stay further up the pitch. If Bruno managed to get 21 assists last season, when he played the first third of the season in his own half, and then the other 2/3 of the season being the only playmaker in the entire team, and sometimes dropping deep for thirds of games. And he got 21 assists in that. Well, maybe you can get more than that this season. Could you imagine that? Bruno Fernandes breaks a record that has stood for 20 plus years from Thierry Henry with 20 assists in a season. Breaks it. Then the next season breaks it further. That'd be amazing. Not impossible. Tielemans and Santos will be interesting. I want to see them together, man. And it feels like this is the game for it. Let me see what else you're saying down here. Yeah, apparently it was for them. How long until we can get rid of Onana permanently? I don't even know, if I'm honest. I think... How many years has he got left in his contract? Is it just a case of... I don't think he's a free agent in the summer. He might have one more year left on it. I think he got a 4-year contract. 4 year plus one. I don't think United are going to be changing that. I am having a shave before the game, isn't it? Way too HD. Went to my barber's twice. Once before I went to Edinburgh and once after. Actually, no, I didn't go yesterday because I was too busy. Right, let's speak about a few more players. Do you know it's Delict's birthday today? First things, happy birthday. Secondly, how old do you think he is? Every time I hear his age, I forget. And it makes me go, bloody hell. 27, man. So happy birthday to Delict, but he was pictured in training again. Now, I don't know whether Delict is just ahead of where he thought he would be at this point, or whether this has always been the plan. But if he's training and he's getting involved, at this point he's on grass, he's in the full team training. Maybe he will be able to come back sooner rather than later. I hope for his sake that he can. I've got big old concerns. Like in the same way that all of us had concerns about Martinez after his injuries and he came back. Will he be the same player? Then he looked good, then he got injured again. We still have those concerns about Martinez. We all look at De Ligt because actually before he got his injury, sucked, didn't he? He was our best player last season up until that game against Crystal Palace. And he played the full 90 as well and then went off. Back injuries are bad, man. Nobody knows the extent of a back injury and whether or not it's going to repeat itself. It happened to Rio and it kind of ruined a lot for Rio. Fingers crossed it doesn't happen for this lad. But De Ligt, maybe we're going to see him sooner than we thought. Nobody's going to be rushing him back. United have shown with every single player that they're going to be cautious in bringing them back. Like Šeško, I really want to see Šeško play even 15 minutes against Leeds today because we're going to have him fit for the game against Hull. He's going to have to play more so than Senny is. So we've got 2 games left. We've got this game here. And in 3 days, of course, we play AC Milan in Poland. And maybe that'll be where we get some minutes for Šeško. I don't think Šeško is going to be fit to start the game against Hull. Even if he came and he played 30 minutes today and he played maybe if he played half an hour today and 60 minutes against AC. But I don't think that's going to happen. Lotus is saying that Saliba's got the same injury. Mate, I've said this quite a few times. I'll be amazed if Arsenal start the season in the first month or two red hot. I think they're going to struggle. I really think they're going to struggle with the players. Now, of course, somebody who I suppose I am partly excited about Rashford coming back in because I don't know what to expect. Rio Ferdinand went to the training ground yesterday, met everybody, said he looks fit, he looks sharp, he looks ready. Come on, Rashford, lad. Somehow this is another opportunity at United that I didn't think he was going to get. But I hope full well that he takes full advantage of it. And I've said this, and I've said my opinion on the fact that I would rather he didn't come back to the club and we didn't have the circus around it. But I'm going to celebrate him when he scores. I'm going to support him when he comes on. And that's what I'm going to do as a United fan. Right? If he comes on today, I'm interested to see what he can bring. Say Rashford gets 15, 20 minutes towards the end. Rashford in that environment, rather than Rashford being a guaranteed starter, I think is somebody who can have an impact. He has got goals in him. Bring that to United, Marcus. All right? Come on. Anyway, last thing I want to speak about, these two. Martinez, I don't think we're going to see him. I mean, you might see him in the squad, or he might just be there. I don't quite know. But I don't think you're going to be seeing him start. I very much am expecting Heaven and Maguire to be United's starting centre-back partnership for the first game against Hull. I actually think both of them have been playing okay in pre-season. I think Heaven's been quietly impressive, as has Shea Lacey. And I just wanted to have one last little comment on Shea Lacey, and then I'll fire in any questions you want to ask me about the game tonight or things you want me to do, etc. You can fire them in now. But with Shea, this would, I think, have been a conversation that we had a year before had he not lost. He's kind of lost 18 months of his career so far to date with injuries. Just delaying progression. He's looked really good in pre-season. Shea, for me, is going to be somebody who... He's gone into this pre-season with... He went into this pre-season as an academy player. I think he's going to leave this pre-season as a first-team squad option. I'm a little bit hungry. Might have to go Little Bakery. You never know. How you doing? Is that a buzzball, the Martin? Mate, anyone ever had a buzzball? I had my first buzzball the other week. Damn. They are nuclear. Asek, you're saying this will be his breakout season? I fully agree. I think he's just going to be a first-team squad member. Where do you expect him to play more? That's probably what I would ask you. He's played the last couple of games. I think it's a real show of faith from Carrick. He's played the number 10 role. Has he started the last 2 games in the number 10 position? I think he has. I see him more as a right-wing option. Ahmad and Bumo and Lacey, those 3 options on the right wing. Maybe I would say it's going to be Shea Lacey's breakthrough season, way more than I'm going to say it's going to be JJ Gabriel's. I think he'll make his professional debut for United, hopefully in a League Cup game, hopefully against lower league opposition, and hopefully when we're, I don't know, 2 or 3-0 up, and then he can come on for the last 20 minutes, half an hour. Perfect, right? I don't think it's going to be his breakthrough season. Not, what is he, 15? Is he 16 yet? Don't even know. This lad, it will be his breakthrough season. Buzzballs go straight to the kidneys. Hey, last night, I'll speak about Temple Bar in a minute. I had to go and check it out, right? Come on. Dr. Tosh, shout out to my dad who's sitting here this morning watching his first live show and loving it. Going to the Leeds game and can't wait. Hello to your dad. And hello to you, and I hope you enjoy yourself. Who else is going to the game tonight? Fire it into the chat. But yeah, tonight, I'm looking forward to it, right? I don't get to go to games much because I'm working with you guys and girls. I'm here this is the first time I've actually managed to bring a studio on tour with me, set it all up, and it's worked. I know it's not perfect, but I'm pretty damn happy with that as a first example that we can take this on the road. That gives me a lot more opportunities and a lot more options to do things. Because previously, I've always been like, oh, I can't do that because I can't do a live show in the morning after. I've always got to do the live show. Sam, what Man United players have you met? I can't remember. The last time I met the United squad, this is going to go far back, was Louis van Gaal. Me and Drum, big up Drum, he's not watching. We got to go to Carrington. I can't remember the reason we were at Carrington. But Rooney was there, Mata was there. Anything there? Was he there? Matic? Can't remember. No, Matic wasn't signed then. You deserve it. Enjoy the game. I'm looking forward to it. So we'll be heading there a few hours before kickoff. I don't know exactly what the access is going to be. So make sure you follow us on Instagram. All right. Because we'll be running the Instagram story there. So Instagram/United People's TV. Right. Would have been perfect if we made the bed and shaved. Someone's coming in there and want to give me a scrap down there. Bang, bang. Anyway, yeah. As I said, I met Leeds fans last night. They're all a bit weird, aren't they? I hope we pump them. Final thing, what's your prediction for the game? All right. I didn't predict a 4-1. I was just saying, I'm hoping that United go and pump Leeds. It will be nice. We came in, me and Ollie. Have you seen Ollie? You might have seen Ollie on some of the socials. He's here with me. He'll be getting involved. So you can say big up to Ollie. Right, you're on holiday, mate, which means a new signing is coming. It probably does, all right? Although I managed to get away with it going to Edinburgh, which is very unusual for me. 3-1 United, 2-1, 5-0, 3-0, 4-2, 3-2, 3-2. I'm hoping for a 4-1. I really want to pump them. And I just want to have some fun. So I'm looking forward to it. Probably going to meet... I'm looking forward to introducing myself to a lot of people because... Well, forever I've just been sat behind the screen, so no one's ever met me. But I want to put a name to a face and then kind of show who United People's TV really is. All right? So, match reaction tonight. The plan is to do one in the stadium. I've got no idea what speed the Wi-Fi is. I've got no idea where I'll get space and time to do it. But it's a 7:30 kickoff. So what's that? 8:15, 8:30, 9. I've no idea. I'll try and get match reaction up as quickly as I possibly can. And the plan is... to do another live show tomorrow morning, although annoyingly, checkout time here is 10 a.m. I've asked, can I stay till at least half an hour later? We'll find out. But the plan is to do another live show tomorrow morning, and now we've seen that it works. So thank you all for tuning in. United People's TV on the road. The start of something maybe new and exciting this season. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. I'll also be on X as well, my personal account, sampeoples_. But yeah, let's go and enjoy it.